Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We are the Jocks of All Trades podcast. I am Brad, and this is Kyle. We're running a little earlier than usual this week. We have some personal stuff to take care of, but we did want to bring you our full episode as usual. Kyle, let us start with Jocks grades.
So our A for this week, we have two guys, both from the Jets. Both just went off. Michael Carter, the running back, went for 32.2 points. And then Mike White, the QB, went for 32.1 points. Just incredible game for both of those guys. We were kind of waiting to see on Michael Carter and Javonte Williams, both North Carolina running backs, getting drafted this year. And we're kind of just like, when is one of them, going to go off? And Michael Carter's the first guy to go off. Javonte Williams really isn't doing much right now, but good to see from Michael Carter, and we kind of hope that he keeps it up for the Jets' sake and for fantasy owners' sakes. Chris Godwin is our B with 28 points. Listen, this guy's just Mr. Consistent. It's Brady's, I think, favorite target by far. Gronk's in and out. Mike Evans is up and down, but Godwin always seems to get the ball thrown his way. Tough guy to bring down to 28 points, even though in the loss, but Chris Godwin gets our B. Our C is the Eagles defense and special teams. I think the Eagles defense kind of stinks, but we're going to give you a C because it's a defense. No one really cares about defense. Got 22 points against the Lions. Most of those points came on a fumble recovery for a touchdown by Darius Slay, the former Lion, and they got 5 sacks in that game, only gave up 6 points. Jared Goff was on the ground the entire game. Poor guy. Why don't you take D? Because I believe you have this man in your league.
I do. Kyler Murray had 9 points. Thanks for throwing key interceptions, Kyler Murray. And AJ Green, you are also suspect for just stopping in the middle of a play. I guess the only thing I could think of was he was expecting a flag because he did kind of have his arm all over him, but don't stop the play.
I don't know what that was.
I don't either. And I also have our F, so I'm going to complain about that too. Mike Williams had 3.9 points. You're absolutely correct. He has been under 5 in the last 3 or 4 games, which is insane because he started out dropping 29, 30, 33. Like he really was the wrecking ball of the Chargers. I do have kind of a question that goes with that. Do you think the Chargers' struggles recently have been because Herbert has struggled to get the ball to Mike Williams?
Yeah, I think a lot of their earlier games, it was just big play after big play after big play, and Mike Williams was one of those guys. But for them, it's always been Keenan Allen as the consistent guy. Yeah. So I think you might start seeing Keenan Allen's average per game go up and Williams go down because Keenan Allen's always been the guy. I mean, Mike Williams was always in and out of the lineup, hurt, big play, boom or bust type of guy. If you look at that receiver class, him, John Ross, and Corey Davis are all like top 10 picks. And none of them are studs, but Mike Williams has always been kind of the up and down guy. John Ross is nowhere to be found with the Giants, but and Corey Davis is on a different team. So I think that's what's going to happen. I just think people have the Chargers figured out a little bit, but also they barely lost against the Patriots, who always just know how to find your weakness. And then they lost. They got blown out by the Ravens. They just weren't ready for that. So, like, I'm not going to wave them off or say they're busts or they're not playoff bound. I think they'll get back to normal here, but they have to figure out, like, who can we consistently go to? And it has to be Eckler and Keenan Allen, I think, with some Mike Williams sprinkled in. Josh Palmer, too. I think he had a touchdown this last week, and he's their rookie 4th or 5th round pick out of Tennessee. So, like, I don't know where Mike Williams is right now, but it would be nice for him to show up in, other than broken coverages, because a lot of his plays this year have just been like, oh, we forgot to cover Mike Williams, and that's not a thing where you can do that every week. So
no, but we did see that success with the Falcons with Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley, and Calvin Ridley was incredibly fantasy relevant because of it, because the bigger threat was Julio Jones. It feels almost eerily similar with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, because Mike Williams has shown that he can do it now. So who do you cover? And you're exactly right. Once you start covering Mike Williams, it's going to be Keenan Allen. So either way, I think both are safe starts, but be warned that one of them may just drop a dud.
Yeah. I would agree with that. Yeah. Let's go to our sleeper seekers from last week. Brad, do you want to take these guys?
I will, as soon as my phone decides to work with me. So I gave you a really quick recap last week. Sorry we had the week off just for some personal reasons. All of us kind of needed a break. But I recorded a 3-minute video where I gave you some quick sleeper seekers and just to get you through the week. It's kind of hit or miss. I said Mac Jones. Mac Jones had 11.72 points. I mean, it's not awful, but I mean, it was still better than Kyler Murray. So I guess I was right somewhere. I did say Michael Carter. Listen, I'm all on the Michael Carter train, even though I drafted him and dropped him because he wasn't doing anything. But that's not important, guys. The important thing is that Michael Carter is killing it. I don't think that's going to change anytime soon, whether it's Zach Wilson, whether it's Mike White. It doesn't matter. I think he's still building his role in that offense, and it's a very powerful one at that. My number 3 that I gave you was Brandon Bolden. He had 2.6 points. Again, like I said with that, Bill Belichick loves to say, hey, screw you whenever it comes to fantasy running backs for the Patriots. So, as I said, he is you just have to know when to start him kind of player, and this was not the week to do that. Damien Harris, however, looked really good. So just be aware. They have a lot of weapons. I would say maybe drop him. And then if you feel like there's a good matchup where they're going to have to pass out of the backfield a lot because getting pressure on a rookie quarterback is going to make him dump the ball off, then maybe Brandon Bolden is your guy that week. But he's not an every week kind of player. Next is Randall Cobb. Somebody else that's not an every week kind of player. I think he really benefited with Tunyon being hurt, Adams going out. Lazard had COVID as well.
Scantling didn't play.
Yeah, like he was the only option. So, of course, he was going to have 16.5 points. Who are you going to throw it to? Although I will admit, and people are going to hate me for this, Aaron Rodgers has had a hard time passing to people this season. Like, that should not be a common statement to make. I'm kind of excited being a Devontae Adams fantasy owner that Jordan Love is going to be in because maybe he'll actually target the best receiver on the Packers. That would be fantastic. Anyways, moving on. I also mentioned Jerry Jeudy. I did say he was coming off of IR, so that never really means that it's like a must-have player, but he did really well for coming off the first week. He had 7.9 points. I think he was projected for like 9. So he almost hit his projection, which is pretty good. That's
first game back, that's a good start.
Yeah, and especially when your quarterback is Teddy Bridgewater. So anyhow, the last one I told you, this was kind of disappointing a week for him. CJ Uzomah, especially because they just kept slinging the ball to Mixon, which was unexpected. Because if you had Jamar Chase, if you had T. Higgins, if you had Tyler Boyd, they did okay, but none of them blew up off the board. Mixon did, and that ended up hurting CJ Uzomah quite a bit, who has seen a lot of success with Joe Burrow. Don't drop him. I would say hang on to him, put him on your bench. If you have the Darren Wallers of the world, the TJ Hawkinsons of the world that have a bye or had a bye, just hang on to him. See what happens. Maybe one of those guys gets hurt and he comes in and has a killer game. Or even trade him. You may have a manager in your league that has a bye. They don't have a tight end playing this week. Perfect time to swoop in and say, hey, I've got a tight end for you. He's pretty decent. You are going to have to take a little bit of risk on upside, but good way to get rid of him if you don't need him without losing all of your investment that you've made in him.
And I think he's 10th or 11th for all tight ends in fantasy right now.
Yeah.
So in a 12-team league, sure, it's not top 10, but in a 15-team league, in a PPR league, he could even play a flex if you have that option. So definitely a surprise this year for tight ends, I think. Took us a little bit to find him, but he's starting to, I think, put up some good points every week. This week, Sleeper Seekers, I'm going to start with a weird one. That's Rex Burkhead. Talked to Brad about this before we got on. He had 13.7 points for the Texans. Listen, the Texans, just the whole team stinks. All their running backs are just not worthy enough, I think, for like a solid start. You remember they got rid of Mark Ingram, but David Johnson, Phillip Lindsay, Scotty Phillips, I think, and then now Rex Burkhead are all on the team, all getting touches. Burkhead did lead the running back group in plays, though, so that's something to watch out for. It'll probably change week to week, much like the Patriots. But Rex Burkhead in a PPR league, I feel like he's more of a solid start than Phillip Lindsay or Scotty Phillips, just because he'll get the ball out of the backfield too, and he's a very good receiver. But again, the Texans running backs just in general won't get much because their quarterback stinks, their offensive line stinks, they're a dumpster fire. So if you need a running back, maybe you put him out there. I have him on my bench just in case he does keep seeing snaps, but I'm not going to tell you to start him because that's risky. Boston Scott and Jordan Howard. I picked up Kenny Gainwell last week because I thought he was going to go off because Miles Sanders was hurt, and Kenny Gainwell would get all the touches, all receptions, all that jazz. He got like 3 points. But Boston Scott and Jordan Howard. Boston Scott had 18. Jordan Howard had 17. Eagles finally run the ball. Both really good numbers. So you could pick up either of them, but I think it's another Patriot/Texan situation. I'm not going to guarantee these guys keep going off like this. They're all going to see the ball. Jordan Howard's going to see the ball. Boston Scott and Kenny Gainwell are all going to see the ball. So it's risky. I am starting Boston Scott this week just because he looked really, really good against the Lions. And he had the best yards per carry, I think, on the team. So it's a swing for sure, but he's projected to get like I think 12 or 13 in a PPR league, so it might be worth starting him. Next, your Alabama boy, Derrick Henry. He's out, like we talked about in our last pod. McNichols. How do you feel about McNichols, Brad? Do you think he's going to get that 16 points that they're projecting? No? Yeah. I don't think so either.
I believe in the next man up mentality, but he is no Derrick Henry.
No, and I think Henry probably averages around 25 a game or something like that. McNichols won't get that, but I don't know if Adrian Peterson, they signed him, right? Peterson?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if he'll factor into the game plan at all, but if I were the Titans, I wouldn't trust Tannehill to throw the ball 40 times a game. So you're going to have to run the ball. And their O-line's still decent. So pick up McNichols. Did I get him in one league? I don't think I did. I think someone else picked him up. So you did. So it's unfortunate why I didn't get him. But pick him up, and he is definitely a better start, I think, than a Rex Burkhead, than probably a Boston Scott, Jordan Howard, or Kenny Gainwell.
Yes. However, I'm using him more as trade bait to get something better because, he'll be consistent because the Titans have to run the ball, but I don't think he's going to be dropping like 30 points a game.
No.
So it's a risky play, but I'm going to try to get something out of it more than try to roll with it and see what happens.
Yeah. Next is Russell Gage. I picked up Russell Gage 2 weeks ago. He got 16 points for me, and the next week he gets 0 targets, 0 points. Weird. But Calvin Ridley is out for the time being, and Gage will be the probably, I guess, number 3 option when you have Kyle Pitts and Cordell Patterson. But in terms of receivers, the number 1 option. So I think it's worth picking him up. I think he's projected to get around 13. And I think if they look his way, he could easily get a solid 15, 16 a game. I think he is a decent enough receiver to get that. It's just, will they look his way? Will Matt Ryan not bloody his hand again? And, I don't know. I have him in my league. I'm not starting him. But if they look his way, I think he can get a solid 15, 16 a game. I'm scared about that last week. You get 0. I'm like, what are you doing? But again, Ridley's out, so he's going to be the number 1 receiver option. Next, my boy from Penn State, Pat Friar. So glad to see him get some points. He had 7 targets the last 2 games, not combined, 7 targets average. And then he had 14 last week on a really, really nice catch, probably one of the best plays of the week in the NFL. He juggled it a little bit in the back of the end zone, but he came down with it. Brad, he kind of reminds me of a Heath Miller, which was Roethlisberger's favorite target back in the day. And with Juju being out, you have Deonte Johnson, Chase Claypool. Claypool's, I think, boomer bust quite a bit. Deonte Johnson's probably a little bit more consistent. But I think their game right now is just pound it with Najee, get some play action in there, and give it to their tight ends with Ebron and Freiermuth. But I'm starting to think Roethlisberger is kind of looking more his way. What do you think?
Yeah, I would agree. Because Najee is great. But defenses are also kind of figuring out, oh, yeah, we just have to stack the box and stop Najee, force him to throw. And you and I both know he's not going to throw for like a 60-yard dime. So I think it's becoming a little easier to predict what Big Ben is going to do. So now they have to switch it up and kind of look for that play action, look for their tight ends out of the set. So I think Freiermuth, I really do. I think Freiermuth is a good pickup.
And last I have Trevor, Simeon, and Taysom Hill. I don't think they're going to win you a bunch of games. But let's say if Taysom Hill starts, he could be a Jalen Hurts type quarterback, I think, because they're going to run the ball a lot with him. He's going to give it to Alvin Kamara a lot. He'll definitely get his rushing yards, his rushing touchdowns. Again, I'm not going to say he's going to win you any games. He's going to lead you to the playoffs. But it might be worth picking up Simeon or Taysom Hill, depending on matchups, especially if Taysom Hill is the QB going forward. Listen, there's a lot of horrible quarterbacks out there still in the market, but I would think with Sean Payton, their game plan is a little bit better than most of the other ones out there, and probably a little bit more consistent because we got Matt Nagy with Justin Fields, he's up and down. You got Urban Meyer with Trevor Lawrence, he's up and down. Trey Lance is, not really seeing the field at all. So, like, if you need a quarterback, maybe go after Taysom Hill. If he starts, just keep an eye on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Brad, do you want to go to Jock or a joke?
Sure do. Let me click us on over there. Jock or a joke? Let's start out with Michael Carter. I'll ask you that one. Is he a jock or a joke?
It's really cold in here. Michael Carter is I think he's a jock. I think he should be the lead back for the Jets. They kind of struggle with that. Should it be Johnson? Should it be LaMichael P. Ryan? Should it be Michael Carter? But I think he's shown that he's pretty able out of the backfield and running the ball. I think he's a little bit lower to the ground. He's kind of built and compact. So in a way, I think he's going to get some hidden yardage. Like linebackers can't see him, or defensive linemen not sure where he's at. Like I think he should be the running back going forward. He should be getting the ball the most because if you look at the rest of their team, I mean, Corey Davis, like we said, up and down. Denzel Mims kind of a bust right now. And they don't really have a solid tight end, especially with Mike White, Zach Wilson. Like you mentioned before, with quarterbacks getting pressured, they dump it off. I think Michael Carter can be a solid play, and I think he should be able to get 17, 18 a game. I think he's definitely capable of that.
And he's also a bowling ball too. Like when he gets the ball, he doesn't just go down immediately. Like he bounces around, bounces off tackles. Like he's got the stuff.
Yeah.
He just needs the he needs the trust of the coaching staff to get there.
Yeah. He's got 37 targets in 8 games now. So that's about almost 5 per game, which is good. If you're getting like 4 catches a game, let's say for like 20 yards, that's 6 points right there in the PPR league. If you're getting the ball 15 times a game for 60 yards, like 4 yards per carry, then a touchdown along with that, that puts you at about 16, 17 points. So like you're right there, and I think he's capable of that. I think he is a jock. Brad, I want to ask you this one. Baker Mayfield, is he a jock or is he a joke?
I think as far as Browns quarterbacks go, he's a jock. He's been the best thing they've had. He's been consistent. I mean, dude, this is a quarterback that helped take out the Chiefs. Like, that was impressive. Um, but I have to admit, in terms of like fantasy, definitely a joke. Like, there's no situation where I would say, man, I really want to start Baker Mayfield this week. Like, you don't do that because A, the ball is going to get run primarily with the Browns, and B, even when he passes, it's not going to be great 90% of the time. So they go back to the run. So there's never a time that I say the Cleveland Browns are a heavy passing team. And you know what? It works for them. They're good on the ground. Why mess that up? So I don't know if you saw the recent comments from OBJ's dad where he shared like a 12-minute video of his son not getting targeted. And I was like, that's their offense. Like they don't play like that. So yeah, if I'm OBJ, I'd be a little mad too.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. Tony Pollard, do you think he is a jock or a joke?
I'm gonna stick with Jock. If you've watched the past couple of games, even with Cooper Rush, they're a passing offense first. And so when they do hand it off, 90% of the time it's to Ezekiel Elliott. Now that changed early in the season because Zeke didn't look hot. Like Pollard looked like the hot option, but it looks like it's swinging back to Zeke. Zeke looks more comfortable. Zeke is making better runs. Zeke is getting on the outside and getting the yardage. So I don't think Pollard is a joke still. I think it just comes down to one game where the passing game doesn't work for the Cowboys and they have to run on the ground. So it's conditional, but I still think he's a jock.
Yeah. Week 4, he had like 6 points. Week 5, he had 10. And now 6 and like around 3 points. So it's diminishing a little bit, which is kind of scary. But like you said, if they start just running the ball a little bit more, then week 2 and week 3 he was projected pretty low, and he got more. So you're right. He started off kind of hot. He's kind of dwindling now, but I still think if he gets his touches, like he's very productive with those touches. So it's all just a matter of when he'll do that.
I agree.
Mike Williams, going back to Mike Williams, is he a jock or is he a joke?
That's a you question. I can't answer that because right now I'm going to say joke, because how in the world do you start out averaging like 28 points a game and then suddenly just drop off the face of the earth and have like 3 points? Like that's not conducive to staying ranked as high as he was as a wide receiver. However, he does have the ceiling to keep scoring like that because Herbert likes to throw to him. Herbert looks to him quite a bit like he does with Keenan Allen. It's not like Mike Williams is just some rando on the field that just went off like Van Jefferson. Like it's not that situation. So for right now, a joke because I need to see more, but he has the upside of a jock.
He does. For me, he's always been that guy that just you don't know. I had him before in a few leagues, years past, and he's always been the kind of guy to, go off and then not do anything, and then you're hearing really great things about him in training camp. He looks the part. He's running well. He's a big physical guy. Like he looks like he's going to dominate this year, and then he kind of doesn't. So this year it's good that I'm seeing a lot of production out of him. It's just, can he keep it going? I don't know. I'd call him a joke too, but it could very well change next week. Brad, let's look at some guys to trade for. This week, you're looking for a nice trades to help out your team.
Yeah, what's up, Michael Chap? What do you need help with, man? How can we help you?
Ask away.
That is what we're here for, man.
Trade for Jerry Jeudy, maybe. I think that might be a good pickup. Someone that's kind of selling selling low right now. Maybe pick him up and he could turn it around because before injury, like I think he was a hot name. That's someone to look at. I think if you have Randall Cobb, maybe you could sell high on him. That would be a good play, I think, because once all those guys come back, he's not going to do the same thing. I would sell high on Boston Scott too if you had him, or Jordan Howard, because again, they're not going to be like how they are the rest of the season. Let's see. Has Mr. Chap responded yet?
No. Oh, yeah, he got it. Okay, there we go.
Cool.
Okay, I have Justin Herbert, Dalvin Cook, Stephon Diggs, Keenan Allen, Pitts, Hollywood Brown with Zach Moss as my RB2. I'm 3-5, and I have Ertz as a backup for Pitts. I want to upgrade my RB2. Any ideas? I'm kind of too heavy with Dalvin. Okay, let's go back and look at this.
Who are your backup receivers? I want to see who your backup receivers are.
Yeah,
because I might have an idea with Stephon Diggs. I think Hollywood's a solid play. Kyle Pitts is going to keep going off. I think Stephon Diggs might be a guy that you could trade away depending on who your backup receiver is. Depending on who that is. Because, I was looking to trade away Stephon Diggs. So he just really hasn't been the type of guy that we thought he was going to be.
Well, I feel the exact same way with Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams should be having the season Cooper Kupp is having, and he's not.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. And on that Bills team, Dawson Knox is getting a lot of reps. Beasley, Sanders, Gabriel, they have a lot of options over there. Stephon Diggs really hasn't been the guy like he was last year, and teams, I think, are targeting on him, and that's why it's a little bit lower this year. So maybe you could trade away Stephon Diggs. For what? A team that needs receivers. Let's see, a fair trade. If you could look for a guy like maybe an Antonio Gibson type, I think that would be kind of near Stephon Diggs. Maybe a Darrell Henderson type. That could be near a good trade. Like, look for those guys. Like, you're not going to get a top running back for Stephon Diggs, but I think maybe like a 8 to 12, 8 to 15 kind of range.
What about Cordarrelle Patterson, maybe?
Yeah, if you can swing that, I definitely would. Cordarrelle Patterson's a good flex, too. So, especially if you're in a PPR league.
What do you think, Kyle? Actually, if you can't sell Diggs, sell Renfrow. Renfrow is going to have high stock at this point, right? For maybe like Darrell Henderson, maybe a Cordarrelle Patterson. If you can sell it to somebody, I would, man. Like Renfrow, that's it. That's it. Like Waller has not been that like dominant, take every like possession guy. And so Renfrow you could sell pretty decently.
Now that Ruggs is out, you could keep Renfrow as well, and maybe bank on him getting some more targets coming his way. So, I think out of all those guys, I think Diggs would be the best bet to trade away, and see if you can get a running back. Or maybe Ertz and Renfrow, because Ertz, I think, is still a very good tight end option. So I wouldn't trade away Pitts, though. Keep Hollywood as your flex.
Yeah, I would. That's a safe flex. It really is. But Renfrow or Diggs, shoot for like a Darrell Henderson, shoot for like a Cordarrelle Patterson, or like Kyle said, take Ertz and maybe Renfrow and sell it for a decent running back. That would help you a lot, man. Because I'll be honest, like you gotta have a good RB2, and Zach Moss is not that guy because he's he's playing in an offense where they pass 90% of the time. So he's not going to have like 30 points in a game. So I completely agree with Kyle. Try to aim for something like good tier, but not like God tier.
Yeah.
So let us know if you submit a trade and what you trade for. We will be here next week at 5. We're usually at 5. Just let us know. Oh, hang on. Let me see. Would you be comfortable with my 2 running backs as Henderson, Dalvin with Renfrow, Hollywood, and Keenan as my 2 wide receivers? Yeah. Yeah. I would caution with Renfrow because I feel like Renfrow has not been in this situation before where he's been trusted to be the wide receiver 1, which honestly he might be the wide receiver 2 because I'm thinking of Darren Waller. But still, he'll be good. It depends on how much you trust Renfrow over Stephon Diggs.
I think too. Maybe you could trade Zach Moss and Zach Ertz and get a better running back.
That's true. Yeah.
That might be an option for you too.
That's absolutely true.
Zach Moss definitely isn't the worst running back 2 in the world, but I understand why you want to upgrade. I think with the team that you have, if Stephon Diggs and Dalvin Cook did what they were supposed to do where you drafted them, your team would be elite. But neither of them, I don't think, are doing what they're supposed to be doing. Dalvin's been in and out, and Stephon Diggs isn't getting the targets that he normally gets. So,
I'm pulling up the fantasy app to see if there's anybody else I can think of to help him with. Can I rank the wide receiver? Oh, I guess I can. Hold on, because it's not available. All players. No, I want running backs. Maybe a Joe Mixon type too. That would be another one if you can't. You are totally welcome, man. That is what we're here for. We love doing this kind of stuff. I would rather do this all day than half the stuff that I spent time writing. Come back next week at 5. Let us know if you swung that trade and how you did for the week.
Yeah.
Let me. Oh yeah, hang on. Another question: Gaskin or Zach Moss this week?
I personally never trust Myles Gaskin.
That's true.
Like I just can't.
True. I'm trying to think of who they play this week because my brain is just completely empty. They do play the Texans though. Would that change your mind?
Maybe. I think Tua's going to have a pretty good game. I don't know. He had what, like 9 points last week, Gaskin?
Yeah. Let me put it this way. Do you trust the Bills to run or do you trust the Dolphins to run? Personally, I'm going to say the Dolphins are going to run more than the Bills will. So the sucky thing is they both play garbage defenses. It's just a matter of who you think is actually going to run the ball more. Now, I think it could be the Dolphins. The problem with that could be Ahmed. It could be Gaskin. Like Zach Moss has kind of turned into the RB1 for the Bills. So I'll stick with Gaskin, but I feel like it's really close. I feel like that's a really close question.
Yeah, I think Gaskin is more touchdown dependent on his year right now.
Yes.
But if the Dolphins blow out the Texans like I kind of think they will, and they might not, but they should, that bodes well for Gaskin because what do teams do at the end of the game when they're up by a lot? They run the ball. So, yeah, could be Gaskin. I think it will be pretty close. So I think either way, I think you're probably good. But if you're in a PPR league, then I'd probably go with Gaskin.
Yes, I agree with that. So yeah, good questions, man. Let me see where we are. Did we do trade bait? Did we do all of trade bait?
Almost. I just have Dallas Goedert here. I think his value is going to rise. We talked about Pat Fryermuth. His value is going to rise. I think those guys are both worth trading for. Darren Waller. Maybe you can sell someone on Darren Waller and get something good for him.
Yep.
Or if a team is really down on him, maybe you can swoop in with something crappy and get him. And then he'll, you know what I mean? So, he's kind of low right now and might be worth trading for if a team wants to get rid of him.
Come to think of it, I'm actually going to look to swing a trade for him right now. We'll see what happens. Yeah, but those would definitely be good. I feel like the only reason that Waller is even possible is because Waller's had kind of a sus year. But I mean, he's still good. The upside is there, absolutely. You need him to show up. That's the only problem. So we'll see if that ends up happening or not, I guess. Yeah, I can't find it there. Let's go to one of my favorite segments, Nightmare on Jock Street. Kyle, I had a recurring nightmare on Thursday. The rest of the NFL did not matter to me after that because the offense that has been known for passing the entire season, the reason Kyler Murray is the fantasy quarterback number 2 is because they pass and they pass well. Lots of touchdowns have come from that hole, throwing to Hopkins or AJ Green or Rondale Moore or just what have you. It doesn't matter. Just throw to somebody. That whole passing game was abysmal, and it threw me off. I'm going to do a question that we got, and then I'm going to talk about why that was bad. Potential trade, AB and DJ Moore for Hopkins and Brandon Cooks. Which side are you? Because if you're the side on Hopkins and Brandon Cooks, I feel like that's a big old dub. I could be wrong here, Kyle. Do you disagree with me on that?
I think Hopkins owners are frustrated because there's a lot of mouths to feed on that Cardinals offense, like we said.
Yeah.
That's really frustrating. Brandon Cooks is the best target on the Texans. He's easily going to keep getting the ball.
If I remember correctly, Sam Darnold just had a concussion in practice, didn't he?
Maybe.
Let me check on that. Let me make sure that that's accurate before I sling that out of my mouth. But I'm pretty sure he had a concussion, and if he did, then it says Philip Walker is projected to have 14 points. So something did happen to Darnold. Let me look.
Oh, boy.
If something did happen to, let's look. Let's see. Concussion protocol and a right shoulder injury. Yeah, if you're getting Hopkins and Brandon Cooks, you're a mastermind, a wizard, and a genius. Do it.
Yeah, I think that's a good trade to get Hopkins and Brandon Cooks.
Yeah.
But I think you are going to be a little bit pissed off with Hopkins sometimes because I don't think he's going to reach his projected point total all the time. I don't. But he's still going to put up good numbers. So
yeah, I agree. But it's better than AB, who's been hurt or out and inactive, and DJ Moore, who may or may not get a lot of ball. Listen, you are talking to one of the people that loves AB in fantasy. At the very beginning of the year, yeah, that's true. At the very beginning of the year, I said AB is the best receiver on that Buccaneers team. Tom Brady likes to throw to him. I get that. I understand it. Yeah, Hopkins is not fully put together. I don't know what. So which side are you on this trade? I'm trying to figure out so I can help you.
DJ Moore had a killer start to the year.
Yeah,
one of the top receivers, and then last 4 or 5 games, pretty average. So, I think Cooks and DJ Moore right now are pretty much the same. Yeah. So I think reality are trading AB for DeAndre Hopkins. And I think I'd probably do that. You got AB.
He has AB and DJ Moore. See, it's hard for me because I like AB, but I don't like DJ Moore. Okay, let me see. Oh, sexy. Yeah. Okay, I see. You need receivers. You have
If
Aaron
you have
Jones and
Aaron
Dalvin.
Jones and Dalvin, and then have DeAndre Hopkins, on paper, that's a really good team.
It is.
Um,
Do you have to give up AB? Like, could you try like DJ Moore and something else for like Hopkins? That way you have AB and Hopkins. Like, I kind of like that better. But that's totally up to you. Obviously, you're trading what you're trying to trade for a reason. But I don't know. I wouldn't sell AB just yet. The only thing I don't like is that AB has been inactive for like 3 games.
The Bucks and the Cardinals are very, very similar.
Yeah, but look at this. His third receiver is Kadarius Toney. That's not good.
In a 14-man league, it's not the worst thing.
No, but it's Kadarius Toney.
I know, but I don't know, man. I think that you have a solid team right now. I think AB and Hopkins are in very similar situations. They're both a little banged up. They're both on teams that have a lot of mouths to feed. It's
Waller and Gronk as his tight ends. Why your team is great for a 14-team league. Like what? Don't trade if you don't have to, I guess. Like that's what who did you want out of that? Did you want Hopkins? Because AB has a better target share in that Bucks offense than Hopkins has for the Cardinals. Like if you're really trading AB, you're just like, and you said it, AB could be a league winner. I'm with you on that. Man, yeah. What? Who did you draft against? Are they like 3-year-olds? Have they played fantasy before? Like, how did he end up with Dalvin, Aaron Jones, AB, Waller, Gronk? And I'm confused. You're amazing. Can you FaceTime me during my drafts?
I would do it. I think even if AB comes back healthy and everything, I still think Chris Godwin is his favorite target. So
yeah, no, I get that. Yeah, I get that.
I would do it.
Yeah, I would too. Yeah. Don't listen to me. I just really like AB in fantasy. Trust Kyle. Kyle's been playing fantasy for a lot longer than I have.
Yeah, AB, that makes sense.
See, except for me, I will be happy to say that I'm one of the first that did. But that's because I drafted him and then traded him and ended up with Najee Harris because I wanted Najee Harris. So anyhow,
go to this next comment.
I will. That's not bad. But yeah, I would absolutely do that trade, man. Get in there and win. Let's grab Martin Victorious. Miles Sanders, Kenny Gainwell, 2022 first, 2022 second for Saquon too much.
Yes.
Saquon
isn't the guy that he was. Especially on the Giants. And I don't think he ever will be. So
if you're gonna do that, shoot for like an Eckler or somebody that's actually decent. Yeah. You're absolutely welcome, man. If it pans out for you, let us know. Come back Wednesday at 5 and check in with us, and we'll help you figure it out if it doesn't go the right way. However, yeah, man, if you're gonna do that, go for like an Eckler. Go for help me out here, Kyle.
Go for Aaron Jones. Go for
Aaron Jones. Like I just
Zeke Elliott even. Like I trust all those guys more than Saquon right now. Even though I'm a Penn State fan,
I would trade Jameson. No. I would trade Jamison Crowder for Saquon and consider that to be fair right now.
Yeah, I don't trust Saquon.
No,
you can't. Not on the Giants, not because of his injuries. No, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah. All right. Michael Chapp is back. Can you guys think of a return for Pitts and Diggs for a running back? I'm just spitballing here. Woof.
Yeah, Pitts and high. Diggs, that would be a big
high.
Boy.
Yeah.
That'd be like Derrick Henry if he was healthy. That would be.
I'd say Eckler. I like Eckler. I do. Who? DeAndre Swift, maybe? Swift is up there.
Jonathan Taylor.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think about that. Najee Harris. Najee Harris would be a good one.
Yeah, if you're trading both of them, aim high because those are two really good guys. So,
But the nice thing, I guess, let us pump the brakes a little bit. The nice thing though is if you do trade both of them for a running back, and you get a Najee Harris, dude is gonna drop 20+ points every game. So you're gonna have a consistent running back if you aim for one of those big guys. But if you move Pitts and Diggs, you're gonna be fine. Yeah, wow, that was a lot. Hopefully we gave everybody the answers they needed. Please don't trade.
If it's a keeper league, don't trade away Kyle Pitts, please.
Just yes, I agree with that.
I wouldn't trade him away. Even if I was 0-12, I would not trade away Kyle Pitts for anything.
No. Granted, there are still tight ends better than him, but he's still pretty good because he's like the best option for the Falcons, period. So unless your name is Cordarrelle Patterson and you like just showing up out of nowhere. So there's that. Nightmare on Jock Street, I'm concerned about that passing game. Is it going to get better?
I don't know. I hope so. Kyler Murray that offense is dynamic, electric, but it's not always the smoothest. They need to iron out some things for me to say that it's going to be elite the rest of the year. They need to make some things easier on Kyler Murray. Too often is he's just running around back there and just like hurling off his back foot, Yeah. Some nice, easy throws, some nice screens to the running back. Factor that in along with his deep passing game, and they'll be better.
Now you have a tight end to throw to also, so now you can dump it to a tight end.
Ertz is actually looking pretty good for them right now, so that was a good trade for them. You want to go to Wheel of Fantasy here?
Of course I do. I like Wheel of Fantasy. Okay. I'm going to keep comment searching. If anybody has any other questions, we are more than happy to answer those.
All right.
Yep, I got you. Hang on. Well, hold on. Wait. I got to get rid of it. The Wheel of Fantasy. I forgot that cuts the screen off. All right.
Here we go. For our quarterback for Wheel of Fantasy. I only have 7 in here, but let's go for it.
It's going to be Lamar.
Lamar Jackson.
Look at me.
Brad, how many points do you think Lamar Jackson is going to get this week?
More than 5. I'm kidding. Let me see who they play. Minnesota. I'm going to go ahead and give him a cool 22 points.
22? Okay. Mm-hmm.
Because, if Cooper Rush can do that to them, Lamar should do much better.
I'm going to give him 27.5.
Oh, that's close.
All right. I think that's a good number for him. I think he'll probably perform pretty well against the Vikings. We know he always gets his rushing yards too. Let's go to the next one. We're going to choose 2 running backs here.
Okay. Oh, sorry. I didn't know it wouldn't go up. There we go.
All right. If he plays James Robinson, which we kind of hope he does.
Yeah, that would be good.
Do you know who he plays this week?
Who, James Robinson?
Yes.
I don't know. My phone's being kind of funky right now. Give me a sec.
Let's look. They play the Bills next. Oof. That's a big oof. That's going to be tough.
Yeah.
Brett, I'm going to go 11 here.
Interesting.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go 13. Yeah. How many do you think he's gonna get?
Remind me who it is again. I'm sorry. It's like kind of breaking up a little bit on my side.
James Robinson.
James Robinson. If he plays, I think he could have 17 points.
Okay. It's gonna be a
We
tough
have
matchup.
do what?
It's going to be a tough matchup for them.
I agree, but they're probably going to have to get off the air a little bit because their quarterback is not sexy.
All right, let's go to one more here. We can take a question. Kamara. Alvin Kamara.
Who did they play?
The Saints play the Falcons. Oof, I think that's a pretty good matchup for him.
Yeah. I'll take a solid little 19 points for Kamara.
I'm going to take 24 here.
Okay.
We got another question?
We did. Is a team of Herbert, Allen, Hollywood, Cook, Taylor, Najee, Ertz, Renfro, Moss, Gaskin at the flex? Yeah, that's pretty good. I feel like Pitts is the outlier here because Ertz is chilling on my bench. Need a better running back. I also don't like Pitts being triple teamed every game with Ridley out. Yeah, that's a really good point. But I'll tell you what, I'm gonna read it one more time just so I can like cement it in my brain. Herbert, Allen, Hollywood, Cook, Taylor, Najee, Ertz, then Renfro, Moss, or Gaskin. You know what? That's really not bad. That's pretty solid, especially if your like flex is Renfro, Moss, or Gaskin, and you don't have to start them because then you have options. I like it. Honestly, dude, if you want me to tell you who I would prefer out of Taylor or Najee, it would probably be Jonathan Taylor. I like Najee a lot. I do. But that O-line is abysmal. I would rather take Indy's O-line all day. Shoot for Taylor, but Najee is still a good pickup because he's still producing a lot of points behind a terrible O-line. So thoughts on that, Kyle?
No, I like it. I mean, I'm just wondering what your record is right now with the team before your potential trade.
That's a good point.
Like, is your running back hurting you so much that you're doing awful? Or are you like 5-2 or 7-1, you know, like, because if you're doing really well, then I just keep it going with the team that you have. But if your second running back is really killing you, then go for it.
3 and 5.
All right,
Me too.
Shake it up.
Me too. Which is stupid because my team is not bad. I just have really terrible luck every week, and Kyle can attest to that. I'm not crapping. I'm being serious. I've had really awful luck every week.
All right, let's go to receiver here.
Let's do it. All right, there it is.
Let's just choose two receivers here.
Okay.
Jamar Chase.
Hold on. Who do they play?
They play the Browns. Okay. Browns back half of that defense is pretty bad.
I'll take 23 points for Jamar Chase. That feels like a safe bet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd probably go 22. Yeah, something like that. I agree with that. Let's go to our next one. Oops. That is Deonte Johnson.
They play the Bears, don't they?
Yes, sir. Yes, they do.
I'll take 18 points for Deonte Johnson. I don't think he'll have much more than his projected.
I'm going to go with 15 here. All right, let's do next one here. Go tight end. That is Ertz. So, Zach Ertz, who we just talked about.
They play the 49ers. Their defense is really sus. I'll take a solid 13 points for Ertz.
I'm going to go 10 for Ertz.
All right.
We'll go our flex next. I have just a bunch of random names here for flex.
Sure.
That is Melvin Gordon.
Melvin Gordon. Hold on.
The Broncos play the Cowboys.
That's a good defense. Maybe like 16 points. They'll try to throw early, and then if it doesn't work, they're going to run with Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, I agree with that. Mm-hmm. I think Bridgewater's going to get picked off a couple times. So I'm going to go 13.
What's up, Mr. Curly Wolf? You are so welcome, man. Sorry we're here a lot earlier than usual. We had a lot of stuff come up today, and neither one of us could record later, but we wanted to make sure we were here for everybody. If I remember correctly, didn't you say you had a question for us yesterday? Do we want to do the last spin real quick, and then we'll answer a couple more questions and then hop off? Yeah. Whoop.
Let's see, Buller. I think I'm going to go with 9.
9 sounds about right. I wouldn't really say anything more or less. 9 sounds good.
We'll end it there. Let's look at any other questions that you guys have before we call it off. Oh,
that's a cat. Wow. What? Come here. You want to say hi to everybody? Come here, baby. He came straight to me. Come on, buddy. Yeah. Wow. Aha. I have cat. All right. Good. You can sit here for a minute. All right. We'll hang out for a minute. I think Mr. Curly Wolf will have a question. Let me type something to him.
Okay.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Yep. He got me before I could text him. Yeah, you bet. You're welcome. I thought I swore you said something. With the return of Gallup nearing, should I be concerned about Amari Cooper? Also, what running back you think I could get for Saquon? Thanks, dudes. No, you're good. You're good. All right, that's a lot of questions. Let's see.
Concerned? I don't think so. Like, not concerned to a point where you want to trade him away. Like, even with Michael Gallup coming back, I still think no matter if they run the ball, they throw the ball, Cooper's going to get his targets. I mean, look what he did with Cooper Rush. Like, he still did really well. I wouldn't be concerned about Amari Cooper. What do you think, Brad?
No. Amari Cooper will be fine. With Cooper Rush concerns me more than Amari Cooper concerns me, but he did pretty good. He still got the ball out pretty well. CeeDee Lamb had a good game. So did Amari, so I'm not concerned about them. I'm more concerned with what running back we think we can get you for Saquon. Honestly, you're probably going to have to pair something with Saquon for like a decent running back because Saquon Go on, babe. Saquon, has been hurt a lot. Saquon has not looked great even when he has been there.
Maybe a Josh Jacobs type.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Like Josh Jacobs is not doing well this year. He's not doing horribly, but like he should be a lot better. I think fantasy owners are kind of pissed off with him, and they might be willing to trade him for Saquon, but you'd probably have to throw in
something.
Like, maybe like a rinky-dink receiver, like I don't know.
Marvin Jones.
I wouldn't even go Marvin Jones. I'd probably go like Devonta Smith or something like that.
Oof.
He's kind of fallen off the planet a little bit. So,
yeah.
I don't think. Let's see.
Really hurt what I could get from him. I know.
If you could get Cordarrelle for Saquon, I would do it.
I would too. But the problem therein lies again that you're going to have to offer something more than Saquon for Patterson, because Patterson's pretty good. I don't think he's going to be that year round. I think he's kind of a fluke for this year. But yeah, he's pretty good, man. If you can get Patterson, but Josh Jacobs would be decent. If you're going to swing for something, swing for like a Darrell Henderson. Swing for maybe like, if you can, DeAndre Swift. But again, those are guys that I think you're going to have to add something to besides Saquon to get them. What do you think, Kyle?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I don't know when Saquon's going to come back. Like it's up in the air. If you told me Saquon would come back in like 2 weeks, then I'd probably hang on to him. But you just don't know. So. Again, he's on the Giants. He never gets the touches he deserves. He's up and down right now. Giants stink. There's just a lot of
his quarterback is Daniel Jones.
Yeah, there's a lot of different. The first play of the game, he threw a pick. We just started laughing. Like they're a dumpster fire. They are, and I think Saquon. What the Giants should do is they should try to trade Saquon in the offseason. I know this is a fantasy podcast, but like they should trade Saquon because like. They're not doing him any favors. He's not helping their team right now. No. Trade him away, and maybe someone will use him correctly. But if I had Saquon, I would get rid of him. If you wanted Saquon, then maybe you can, buy low on
him. You know what? I appreciate it. Great analysis. But listen, we do a lot of research. We read a lot of stats. I update my list of players every week that I'm looking for. Just personally, beyond this, we look for every little tiny nook and cranny that I can get to be good. And you know what? Sometimes it doesn't work, man. Half of fantasy is luck. And I know people hate people saying that, but it is absolutely true. Like my team is 3-5, but I have, let me run through my team because you're going to love this, that I'm 3-5. I have Kyler Murray, Najee Harris, Christian McCaffrey, Devontae Adams, Mike Williams, TJ Hawkinson, T. Higgins, Rodrigo Blankenship, and the Colts defense, and I am 3-5. So it doesn't matter how good your team is, man, with like analysis and stuff like that, because I'm searching the waiver wire every week. I am doing everything that I can, and I'm still not doing it. We're just trying to give you everything that we can so you can sit there and say, hey, this is not the trade that I want to do. This is not worth it. I don't want to get wrecked here. This guy is not going to go off this week. I should definitely put somebody else in. I'm trying to get you those little points because those little points mean a win sometimes.
Yeah, and two things. One league, I have the third most points in the league. I have Lamar Jackson, McCaffrey, Eckler, Robert Woods, Dallas Goedert, other guys, and I haven't won a game. But I'll say this: I'm 7-1 in one league. 4-4 in the other league. I made a massive trade and overhauled my entire team.
Yeah, that was cool.
We don't claim to be geniuses, but I'll say this for myself and for Brad. For Brad specifically, he made so many trades last year for our league. He didn't have any good picks. Somehow he's 4-4 and has a really good team. So like, if you are on the waiver wire just looking for any little thing, like trust me, like that is where I think it's won. So if you keep coming back here and we give you those sleepers, what to trade for,
and even better, man, don't tell them you're getting it from us. Just tell them it's you. That's the amazing baller thing about it. That's why we're giving you this, so that you can go and say, hey, I'm not going to pick up Jeremy McNichols this week because maybe Adrian Peterson is going to take over that backfield. You know what I mean? Like just itty bitty little things that you can take and like control your league because you know what's happening. Now, here's the funny thing. Kyle is the waiver master. I am not. I am the trade wizard. I love trading. I love trying to offer somebody something that I think will be mutually beneficial, but I know that I'm getting like little bit, just enough that it's going to be worth it. And that's what I did last year. Last year, I started out 0-6 and ended up in the playoffs and actually went to the second round of the playoffs. And then my other league, I traded around and ended up in the Super Bowl. So I like to trade, man. I wish I could help you out more. Hang on. Listen, it sucks. We will not be on tomorrow, man. We will upload a video on YouTube on Friday. That is our random fandom. It's going to be themed for superhero stuff because Eternals comes out on Friday. And then we'll be back Tuesday and Wednesday. Tuesday at 4, Wednesday at 5. Miles Sanders on waiver. Worth a grab for my yes. Does not matter if he has to sit for a week or two. Once he comes back, it finally looks like the Eagles are running the ball. Great pickup. Go do it. But we also have to run. Thank you so much, everybody, for your wonderful questions. Thanks for hanging out with us. Hopefully, we have given you some more knowledge to get you to a fantasy championship this week. Whoa, excuse me. We will see you again for Armchair GMs next week, next Wednesday at 5. Also, come hang out with us next Tuesday at 4 for Jock Talk. And thanks for all your support, guys.
Bye.